Hello. Welcome to today's demonstration on implementing CloudFront for enhanced content delivery and security. In today's video, I will guide you through the step-by-step process of setting up CloudFront to optimize distribution of content stored in a private S3 bucket and to accelerate the performance of your EC2 instance. By the end of this demonstration, you will have a clear understanding on how to leverage the power of CloudFront to deliver your content faster and more securely. So, let's jump into it. So, what is uh, mm, what is CloudFront? Let me explain it very simply. Um, Imagine you're Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. You've got this incredible suit that is your website or your content that you want to share with the world. But here's the thing: your suit is in your fancy mansion, that is your server, and your fans are spread all over the planet. Now, you know what's cool? Having Jarvis, that's CloudFront for you, by your side. So Jarvis creates holographic copies of your Iron Man suit and puts them in super high tech vaults, CloudFront's edge locations in cities all over the world. So when someone in New York wants to check out your suit, they don't have to wait for it to fly all the way to your mansion. They can just zip over to the nearest vault and check out the hologram version of your suit completely with all the flashy effects. And just like how you're picky about who gets to use your Iron Man tech, Jarvis ensures that only the right folks with security clearance, that is the authorized users, can access the holograms. It's like your tech is both globally accessible and locked on tight, all thanks to Jarvis. I mean, CloudFront. So your Iron Man suit always are ready for people to use, to view, and anywhere in the world, but with only the people you want to share it with. So to begin our demonstration, we will need two things primarily. One is an S3 bucket that is private and not public. As you can see, this has no public access, only private access. And you will need an EC2 instance that I have already started and it is running. I will just copy this. I will just show you if it is running or not. I'll just hit and I will paste it. Not here, my bad. The network tab is open. You hit and here it is. You see there are some headers coming up with a 304 not modified. It's cached, that is why it's returning. So you have the website running, right? Let's check the S3 bucket. We have one image here. Let's just click on it. Nope, this won't work. The object URL won't work because it is private. I'll open this and it does work. This is me, this is my sister, that's my mom. So we've reached there. We'll close these. We'll close that one. We'll keep this open. Let's create a CloudFront distribution, right? Let's choose our domain. We can choose a multitude of options, a load balancer, an API gateway, a lot of things. But we will choose our instance for the time being. Let's copy the IPv4 public DNS. Let's paste it here. Just make sure that you've selected HTTP only and there are no HTTPS semicolons or forward backward slashes in your origin domain. It has to be an FQDN. The origin path is basically the path from where you want to access your server. For example, it's usually stored in /www/html and the web page is there. But if there is something else after HTML, for example, there is some folder in which you've stored all your web files, you can simply put the folder name there. I won't do it. A header is basically, it checks all the requests that are coming onto your CloudFront URL, and if it does not have the specified header, then it will not grant access. Okay, let's go ahead and select a cache policy. Let me create a cache policy really quickly. Let's name this ABC. The TTL is basically the time to live on the edge location on which your server, on which your content is stored. The more it is, the better. It's usually the default TTL that's taken into account. We've created ABC. Let's call this ABC0. Let's create it. Okay, since this has been created, let's just quickly refresh. There is an ABC0 here. that we can select. Let's disable the web application firewall and let's create the distribution. Now this takes a few minutes to get generated, but as soon as it is up, we will be able to access. Since we have created one for our EC2 instance, let's also create one for our S3 bucket. So just go to CloudFront, create another bucket, select the S3 bucket here. Let's not put a origin path. Let's use the cache policy that we created for the last one. Let's select do not create a web application firewall. Don't put a default root object. This will look in that specific file for a root object. Let's create another distribution and let's wait for both these distributions to get generated. They are deploying. They have not been deployed, but once they are, we will be able to check and access. I'm a little confused. Wait, what? No, something's missing here. It should be giving me. Okay, let's create another distribution. Let's select EC Parag S3. Oh, okay. I gave that public origin access. That is not to be done. Let's create, because it is not public, it won't. We can't use it. This has to be origin access control. That is whatever the origin has permission set. That should be it. Let's create this because this is the one I've created. It's basically you just have to name the control setting. I'm not doing it right now. You will need to update the S3 bucket policy. Yes, so that this person can also access it. Let's go to ABC0 that we've created long ago. Disable web application firewall. Use all edge locations. Yes. And create the distribution. Should have named it something. Let's copy the policy. Complete distribution configuration by allowing read access to CloudFront origin access control in your. Yes. Go to S3. Yes. Let's go to the permissions tab. Right now it does not have any bucket policy, so let's just give it a bucket policy. Let's edit and let's paste it. You can generate a policy or you can write one of your own, but I would suggest using this if you want to create a custom one. Let's save the changes. Let's wait a minute. I think the distributions should be all set once this is saved, right? This is saved. There is something new here. Yes, public access is blocked because we don't want public to be accessing our image. We have to get rid of this. This is an older one. We have to get rid of this. I think. Wait, let's just check here. E3PH3, right? E3PH3. So this is the one that we've added just now. Let's disable this. Yes, disable that. Okay, let's check this. This is the one with our EC2 instance. Let's copy it. This is running, right? This is running. Let's paste this here. Control Shift I. Let's clear this and let's paste it. The network tab is open, right? It's in the network tab. Yes. Let's just hit enter. And yes, we get it. Alright. So we had a 200 error, and this time if you see there, the request headers are a bit long, and see this X cache miss from CloudFront. So this basically says that this is the first attempt at accessing this resource from the edge location, and since it was not present there, it had to go to the original server to fetch it. If I refresh this must have been cached in the edge location, so refreshing it would give me this. It's a hit on the CloudFront, so it does exist. Now there is a small issue here that people with the URL can also access it and people without the URL can also access it. So it is better to have it open on one side, otherwise it is a security issue or something. You are not sure where to get the metrics from. So what I will do here is I will add a new security group. This security group will only grant access to the CloudFront URLs. So How do you know that only people from the CloudFront URL will be accessing it? It's a very simple funda. If you add a security group, the security group on the EC2 instance should allow only the IP addresses or all the users that are accessing the IP address of the CloudFront URL to fetch it. Now you can search Google for what are the IP addresses that CloudFront has, or you can go to VPC. You can go to managed prefix lists and you can look for CloudFront origins. These are the URLs that these are the IP addresses for the CloudFront URLs. Now these these domain names, these IP addresses can keep changing. That is why it is better to use this prefix list and add it in your security group. So I will look for security group, which is a feature from EC2, and here you can get here EC2. Let's just click on it. Let's create a new one, but as you can see I've already created one. Let's just click on this to check what are the inbound rules. There is a couple of them, and basically most of them allow IPv4 SSH traffic and HTTP traffic, but the HTTP traffic is only allowed from this one, which if you've noticed I recently copied. If I paste it here, you see it's 3939B 3B9 whatever. So we have this ready already. So I will go to my EC2 instance, EC2 dashboard. There is one running instance. I will click on this. I will click on instance actions. I will go to security. I'll go to change security groups, and I will click on CloudFront SG. I will add the security group, and I will remove Linux SG security group, and I will click on save. Now what will happen here is that this, as long as it is cached, it will have no effect. I can keep on refreshing it. Oh no, this is different, right? This will keep on refreshing, but this won't, because now the access from a public IP directly has been cancelled, and only access from CloudFront URLs, CloudFront IP address is generated. So this will give you reloading, but it will not generate, but this will generate. As you can see, content is delivered. It's a hit from CloudFront, but it will keep hitting from CloudFront. So what we will do is we will just go to this is a CloudFront for our public for our EC2 instance, right? So let's go to invalidations, and we can create an invalidation to remove any cache generated. You can put the folder name here, but I want to remove everything, so I will just type in that command. We'll wait for this to run, and once this is run, we will wait for a little while. And this is done. As you can see, this page is not loading yet, and this has been completed. Now I will refresh this again, and you will see that this is now a miss from CloudFront, but this is